Hey, this is Dizzy Reed from GNR and Hookers and Below, and you're listening to the Thunder Underground.
Welcome to episode 240 of the Thunder Underground podcast. Trent and Jason here, and this week we've got a member of Guns N' Roses.
Did you ever think you'd say that?
Like I just said it, just normal, and not like all crazy and fanboy.
And I had to go fuck it up by saying that.
No, I wasn't going to just go on, but I just had to say, oh, we got someone from Guns N' Roses. It's cool.
Of course.
Yeah. If this is the equivalent of getting someone from Metallica for you.
Yeah.
Did we really think it would ever happen? I don't know. I thought maybe one day we'd get like Tommy Stinson or something, and I could say someone who was in Guns N' Roses for 3 years or something, but no.
What, since fucking 1991, 92?
90.
There you go.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I guess it was like 90, like came into the live setting, and then 91 officially, I think, maybe, but yeah, basically almost 30 years. Dizzy Reed, I guess I should say that. I hadn't said that yet.
I thought you just said it.
Or did I?
I don't know. I'm
Okay.
fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm not fucked up, but I'm fucked up.
Not technically fucked up.
I'm just, yeah. Maybe it's like Joe Pesci and I don't know, fucking Goodfellas. Maybe I'm fucked up or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, we've got Dizzy Reed of Guns N' Roses and Hookers and Blow. He's going to talk about both of those bands here in just a bit. And we're going to talk a little bit about him before we get into that. But first, we need to let you know that we are sponsored every week by MedFarm and DEB Concerts. MedFarm is a dispensary located in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma at 24683 East Highway 51. They're just about a quarter mile east of Anita Road. Can't miss them. Get in there, check them out. They've got a huge selection. They're always running specials, discounts, all kinds of stuff. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram so you can always find that stuff out. Facebook is MedPharm. Instagram is MedFarmOK. And their website is MedFarmOK.com. And speaking of discounts, if you mention us, if you say Thunder Underground sent you, or you heard about them here, or just mention our name, they'll give you 10% off your order. They've always got a doctor on site every Friday and Saturday from 11 to 1 and at random other times. So if you follow them on social media, you can find those times out. And above all else, 30% of their profits are going to build no-kill animal shelters. And they are well on their way to doing that. They have land and a building purchased, and they're working on getting it set up.
That's great.
Yeah. So we will definitely let you know whenever that comes to be, but that's very cool. 30% of their profits going to that, locally owned and everything. So get in there and hit up MedFarm and tell them that Thunder Underground sent you. We're also sponsored by DEB Concerts, who just this past weekend brought in Vixen, the Iron Maidens, and Down for Five. They keep bringing in great stuff. They brought in Saxon. They brought in Junkyard, LA Guns, Warrant, Firehouse, Great White, Lita Ford, Dokken, Striper, Steelheart, Beasto Blanco. Who am I forgetting?
Kicks.
Yeah. That's a big one.
Winger.
Yeah. Can't forget Winger. That was a great freaking show.
Man, it was amazing.
Remember you yelled at what? Sorry, what song did you yell at Winger?
No, that was the pre-party for Streets Gone Wild when he was just his acoustic thing.
Okay.
And I'd had it was my birthday weekend, and, it's me, so I had 84 beers in me. And he was like, what's everyone want to hear? And I said, Rat Race. And he's like, Rat Race? I can't do that acoustic. But then he kind of did it anyways.
Yeah.
Just sang one line just to be a goof, So that was cool.
Yeah. No, what it was that I was thinking at that show, someone yelled Blind Revolution Mad, which is they never play, or they don't play that often, I don't think. And he said, well, we just actually played that in sound check. So fuck it, we'll play it. And they played it. So
that was an insane show.
Yeah. But yeah, all these shows at IDL are great because IDL is a great venue. And all these bands are great.
Yes. And DEB is great.
That's right. And there will be more announcements on that coming soon. They've even brought in an arena show this past year with Snoop Dogg and Nelly. So Might see more of that coming too. They also sponsor a stage out at Rocklahoma. The D&B processing stage in the Roadhouse area is all booked by DEB Concerts, and there'll be big announcements on all that here coming soon.
Oh, yeah.
So you won't want to miss that stage, because last year there was some amazing artists on there like Lita Ford and Bisto Blanco, Slaughter, Ace Frehley, and a ton of bands locally, regionally, just from across the place, independent bands as well. So there'll be a lot more of that.
Oh, yeah.
At Rocklahoma 2020. And we'll let you know all about it as soon as we can. Speaking of Rocklahoma 2019 and that stage, one of the bands that played it was the Normandies.
Yes, and we're going to play them right now.
I think we should. Let's play this song right here called I Don't Want to Be Me.
I don't want to be me. I'd rather be somebody else. I don't want to be me. Live this life that I was dealt. I don't want to be me. And you'll find me. I'm passed out on the floor. I don't want to be me. No, no, no. I don't want to be me anymore. Gather all our memories and we'll soak them down in gasoline. We'll light a match and we'll watch them all burn down. You said I don't belong. It didn't take me very long to understand what I want to be. I don't want to be me. I'd rather be somebody else. I don't want to be me. Live this life that I was dealt. I don't want to be me. And you'll find me. I'm passed out on the floor. I don't want to be me. No, no, no. I don't want to be me anymore. Through all the things that I can't see and all my insecurities, I'm dreaming of a time when I was someone else. Put my best foot forward, not wishing I was dead, but contemplating all the uses for cyanide and lead. I don't wanna be me. Nah, 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 nah. I don't wanna be me. I don't wanna be me. Nah, 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 nah. I don't wanna be me. I don't wanna be me. I'd rather be somebody else. I don't wanna be me. Live this life that I was dealt. I don't wanna be me. And you'll find me. I'm passed out on the floor. I don't wanna be me. No, no, no. I don't wanna be. I don't wanna be me. I'd rather be somebody else. I don't wanna be me. Live this life that I was dealt. I don't wanna be me. And you'll find me. I'm passed out on the floor. I don't wanna be me. No, no, no. I don't wanna be me. I never wanted to be me. And I don't wanna be me anymore.
I don't want to be me from the Normandies. I'm so used to saying I don't wanna, because that's how Peter Steele said it.
That's right.
But that's not how the Normandies say it. They say I don't want to be me. So just clearing that up. I'm not mispronouncing it because I'm an idiot. But anyway, that is from their EP, Co-Conspirators of Greater Evils, which came out this summer. Get that thing. It's got 4 songs and they're all excellent.
Of course.
And you've got videos from it and everything. So follow the Normandies.
And they're playing this weekend.
That's right. We need to mention that.
Yeah.
At the Canes Ballroom.
Yes.
The legendary.
Yes. Cancer Suck Show with Puddle of Mud. All for More and Sweat and Bullets is going to be there too. And it's great that the Normandies are on the bill as well.
That's definitely true. Diverse bill there of different styles. So
Oh, yes.
very cool. This is the 15th annual Cancer Sucks show. They always, all the profits are obviously going to Cancer Sucks, which is going, to cancer research and
Oh, yeah.
organizations and all that stuff. So get out there and support this. I mean, this has been around 50. I mean, you played one of these, like a couple of them, right? Way in the early days?
Yeah, but, 15 years ago.
I'm talking like 2003 when it was at like
Well, no,
Curly's,
because,
right? Or was that?
2003 was my last year. That was kind of when Zen Hipster kind of went on and we'd played it before. So I think
So maybe they had a couple years they didn't do it, or
I
I saw this was called the 15th annual. That's just why
well,
I said
I don't know. I
2000.
wonder if it's like maybe this is like the 15th annual year of them doing it at Canes or something.
Oh, it could be.
I don't know because we did other stuff, and we played like, and they would have different stuff. They'd have stuff at Curly's. They'd have like a poker run
Right.
that ended at Slick Willie's back when that had
yeah.
that. Remember that place?
Yeah, I love that.
And we played that, and so we've done some Cancer Sucks functions way back in the day, and it's always great to be a part of whatever that foundation has going on. And Rick Horton, he does a great job. So yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's come a long way because when it started,
it's definitely come a long way.
It would always be a few Tulsa bands, and now every year it's at the Canes, and there's always at least one well-known national act. Like we got Puddle of Mud this year. Pop Evil's played at other bands in recent years.
Texas Hippie Coalition.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome what they've become, and as a city we are proud.
Yeah, so definitely get out there, show your support, and tell the Normanies that you heard him on here if you hadn't heard him before, which I hope you have.
Yes,
because this is like, we don't say this, we say this every time we play him, but this is like literally one of the best bands in the fucking United States.
Yes.
I don't say that loosely either.
I believe that, and that's no bullshit. That's not me, greasing anything or anyone up, that is my honest opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk about Ozzy here for a minute.
Okay.
Because Ozzy has another new single.
And he's going to make you defecate.
I'm glad you brought it up. Sorry.
I mean, I've never heard that line in a song fucking ever, so I had to bring it up. I mean, it kind of fits anyway. I mean, it kind of fits, fuck it, but, I've still never heard it in the song.
Yeah.
So I was going to mention it.
Yeah, I was too, so good.
All right. Well, it's a great song. It's called Straight to Hell. Andrew Watt is on guitar and he's producing it. Duff McKagan, who I think is probably one of two of the best bass players in the world that use a pick. Maybe one of three. And then, Chad Smith from Red Hot Chili Peppers on drums. Slash does the guitar solo. The two songs that we've heard from this album that's coming up in the next year are really fucking good. So and this one's no different. Just like the other one, I like it. I can't wait to hear the rest of it, and I never thought I'd say that about a new Ozzy record ever again. So
yeah, well, the first one, Under the Graveyard, if you haven't heard it, go check it out. We talked about it here just a few episodes ago. I think it was the Kenny Hickey episode.
Mm-hmm.
And we both like that one, and I'll just say first off that I think I like that one better than this one.
See, I like this one better than that one.
Okay. Because to me,
but Under the Graveyard has a way bigger hook. I get it.
Under the Graveyard was reminiscent of Osmosis. Like, we thought that, and I've seen other people say that as well. And Straight to Hell, to me, is more like I just expect Ozzy to sound now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you say there's a new Ozzy song, and I hear Straight to Hell, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. When I heard Under the Graveyard, that's not what I expected. So I guess that's a little more.
I see what you mean. I get that.
Why it kind of stuck to me a little more. But Straight to Hell, I mean, it's good. I'm not saying I dislike it, but it's just a little more formulaic, I think.
I see.
And, the All Right Now, I guess, that's an homage to Black Sabbath, which is fine. But it's just, when I first heard, I'm like, what the hell? And then like 10 seconds later, he said, I'll make you defecate. And I'm like, I had to start the song over.
Yeah, like, what did I just hear?
Okay, is this okay?
And it's like, who wrote that? Because, Ozzy doesn't write his shit, and even though they say he does, and, they pay whoever off to not credit him on the album. So it's like, who fucking wrote that?
Do you think Andrew Watt is writing some of this stuff?
I don't know.
I don't know if he wrote in California Breed, or if
Hughes
wrote everything.
Maybe, but the lyrics, I don't know, maybe Ozzy did write it. I don't know. Maybe he had Geezer Butler come in. I don't
think
definitely
Jakey Lee
not Bob
wrote anything?
Daisley. Huh?
Think Jakey Lee had any part?
No, not at all.
Anyway, but back to the song. It's like, hey, this episode's featuring Dizzy Reed, so it's fitting that we got talking about Duff here. We're talking about Slash, but I want to mention this Slash solo. It's like, you know, it's kind of a joke when you say that if you hear Slash is playing a solo on something, it's like, whatever, he'll play with anyone, right? Because he's done that throughout the years.
Oh,
but
yeah.
obviously this is Ozzy, so it's, I think it's cool, but just being a geek with Slash being my favorite guitarist, I'm like, why is Ozzy singing over most of this solo?
Well, the second part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of comes in.
And the second part's a little bit better than the first part, I thought, solo-wise. So I don't know. I mean, I've only listened to it a few times. I haven't listened to it on repeat like 20 times. But it just, I don't know. That's the only thing that kind of bugged me a little bit. But that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I still like that it's not recycled BLS riffs.
Yeah, definitely.
I enjoy that it's something a little different. And I'm still, like I said earlier, you know, he doesn't write this stuff, so I don't know, you know, how much of a hand he had in a lot of this, but I'm just going to take it for what it is and enjoy a new Ozzy record.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, these two songs are any indication. I feel like I'll enjoy this record, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned the no BLS sound, because obviously Zach isn't here, and there's no knock on that, because both of us are massive fans of Zach Wild and everything he's ever done, but it's kind of cool to hear, you know, like you don't want to hear that Black Rain sound again, where it's like Black Label Society Rain or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
With Ozzy singing, so, you know, I think, you know, Zach Wild's an amazing songwriter, but we don't need to hear it on this.
Yeah,
I get that. And the other thing I wanted to point out is I really like the middle part, or where it drops down and slows down for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only like 10 seconds or something before it goes back up. But that's really cool. And I just, like you said, before these songs came out, I love Ozzy, I always have, but it's not like I was like, all right, a new Ozzy album's coming out. Big deal. There's a new Michael Monroe album coming out. There's a new Night Flight Orchestra album coming out.
No shit.
You know, so I'm not, that's not even at the top of my list by any means. But now that I've heard these two songs, you know, it kind of excites me. And like I mentioned on the last, when we talked about Under the Graveyard, I'm excited just because, you know, you got Duff and Chad Smith as your rhythm section.
Exactly.
So that also adds another element of like, hey, this is kind of exciting.
Yeah. And that Michael Monroe album's already out.
What?
Well, yeah. Because I remember it didn't it? Or is this one of my fucking brain farts?
And if it's out, I feel like
it took a while to get on Spotify. I know that much. Let me make sure before I fucking.
I mean, I know there was like 3 songs out, and I didn't know that it was out. We're like going silent while we're like.
Well, that's okay. They understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, One Man Gang, latest release. It's out.
Holy
That's
crap.
what I thought. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, I knew it was out. Wow, I actually am right this time. Holy shit. I didn't pull a Blackstone Cherry. Oh, it's coming out. Not for another 4 months. I don't know where you got your fucking information, Jason.
Right.
Fuck me.
Well, I do know that Last Train to Tokyo is a great freaking song. So
yes, it is.
I know what I'm listening to here when we stop recording.
Okay.
Speaking of Michael Monroe, Dizzy talks a little bit about him here in this interview here.
See?
So
perfect segue.
That's right. And why wouldn't you want to talk about Michael Monroe? Because he is one of the rock and roll history, one of the what I'm trying to say, one of the most underrated artists in rock and roll history.
He is, and on a recent interview, I want to say it was it Mitch LaFon? But he came out and said that, you know, it's really hard to tour America, and there's not really a lot of demand or money in it, and I don't blame him, and I think that America should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah.
For liking, some fucking diet radio, fucking filler track bullshit and not paying attention to real rock and roll. Yeah. So shame on you, America. This is what I've been telling you for fucking years, and you're not listening to me. But, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day we'll get lucky and someone like Guns N' Roses or someone will take this guy out on tour. And he'll open up a show in Dallas, who knows?
Yeah, no shit.
Or better yet, someone who's touring at a club or theater level has him as an opener so he can go through our
Exactly.
areas, you know. But
Exactly. But keep listening to your fucking your Schecter guitar research rock and your fucking your fucking astronaut rock, whatever.
astronaut rock.
How's that working out for you?
Hey, people like that band.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Uh,
Don't get me started.
Well,
We're here to talk about Dizzy Reed.
he has a solo album that came out. It's been almost 2 years now, actually, because it was like early 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Rock and Roll Ain't Easy. And it's got a lot of, guest artists on it. And he also had some people write some songs with him, like Ricky Warwick, Del James. Talks about that here in this interview as well. And I mean, something that jumped out to me, and before, I even mentioned to you, you said the same thing when we talked about this, when we knew that we were going to do the Dizzy interview.
Yeah.
Was you mentioned when you hear like his piano playing on his solo album, it makes it even more obvious how distinct he is, because it sounds like it's reminiscent of Guns N' Roses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's his style.
Yeah.
Like Slash has a style, or fucking anybody has their style.
Yeah.
And it's and it makes you realize he's probably a lot more of an asset to Guns N' Roses than the casual fan would think.
Right. I mean, the guy's played with every member that's ever been in Guns N' Roses, I believe.
Yeah.
Unless, I'm not positive that Steven Adler was still in the band when he joined.
Yeah.
If not, then that's the only member that he never played with, because he played when Izzy was still in the band,
Well,
and then
I'm sure he was there when Steven came back for a show or two in Brazil or some shit.
There you go.
Last year, the year before, whatever.
That was the first year they were doing it, 2016. And they were,
Okay, yeah.
It was in America. It wasn't Brazil.
I don't know. You know more than me.
Anyway, yeah, but you're right. So he has, performed on stage with every single member that has ever been in Guns N' Roses.
Right?
It's pretty crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's a lot of motherfuckers.
And that's him and Axl Rose, the only two that can make that claim.
Exactly.
And this solo album, Rock and Roll Ain't Easy, has a ton of great freaking songs, like the title track, this Don't Look Like Vegas, Mother Teresa, Forgotten Cases.
That's a great song.
Yeah, that's probably the highlight to me. And then Splendid Isolation's great.
That is a good song too. I like that one.
Yeah, and Hookers and Blow as well, have their album. They're working on a covers album that should be out here early in 2020. He's got other new music coming as well that you hear about. And yeah, this is very cool. Actually, just me on this one. I didn't mention that. Jason wasn't able to make it when we did this recording. But, hey, got to talk to Dizzy Reed.
That's right. Whatever we got to do, however we got to do it.
Yeah. So I was very happy about that. So let's just get into it. Here's Dizzy Reed from Guns N' Roses and Hookers and Blow. Hookers and Blow, last week you guys performed at that charity event where you guys followed the vocal reading of A Christmas Carol. I mean, what was it like doing something kind of out of the norm like that, or does it just feel like any other gig when you do it?
Well, it's we like to do things out of the ordinary. Sometimes, we performed at a retirement home a few years ago, which was a lot of fun, and they seemed to enjoy it quite a bit, and they treated us very well. We'll probably do that again. But this was for a good friend of mine, Ethan Detmeyer. He's a DJ with Combat Radio, and him and his wife they put on that event every year, and they asked us if we'd be part of the entertainment this year. And when they told us it was it was a Christmas holiday fundraiser basically for kids who can't get enough to eat or have a good Christmas, and we wanted to help out, but it just made more sense that it was following A Christmas Carol, and with Hookers and Blow, it all kind of came together really well, actually.
So playing a retirement home, you don't get any weird looks because of the name or that kind of thing?
No. They
That's
really
cool.
enjoyed it. And, that time we had our bus, we had the logo on the side. We rolled that across America a few years ago, and which we seemed to get a good reception everywhere we went. And the retirement home was no exception.
Well, speaking of, you, in recent years, like you mentioned, you guys have done some touring. Is that something we can expect more of going into the future?
Well, yes. I mean, I hope so. That's definitely the plan. We're working on a record right now. We want to support that, but we do have our day jobs, and those kind of take precedence.
Right. Well, you guys recently announced the cover of Shaken. When can we expect that to hit digital outlets and everything?
Is it out already? I'm not sure.
No, they're just Alex just he just put out a little sample of what is to come.
Yeah, it'll be out soon, but yes, there's it's all cover songs. A lot of them are ones that I've always wanted to do, or we've always wanted to do, and ones that we're capable of doing, or at least I'd like to think we are. And some ones that people might not expect, and probably some ones that people would expect. But I think it's turned out great. I kind of just went into it, just kind of going through the motions because everyone kept asking us to do a record, and I finally just said, you know what, let's just do it. But it's going to be cover songs. And once we started getting into it, it was actually it ended up being really fun, really exciting, and I think people are going to enjoy it.
I'm assuming they're all songs that you guys have performed live throughout the years.
Some of them are ones that we have not performed live, actually.
Okay.
And then there are some that we have, obviously, but yeah, I think people are going to be surprised pleasantly, hopefully.
Is that, I'm guessing it would follow the footprint of what you guys normally do, which is geared towards classic rock.
Most of it. I think there's going to be there's going to be some songs in there that people probably wouldn't expect.
Well, as far as besides you and Alex, I mean, is there other people involved with the recording of this? Is Johnny Kelly on drums, or are you guys using?
Yes, Johnny Kelly is on drums.
Okay.
And we, my lovely, our lovely co-singer Nadia, is also adds quite a bit to this record. And we had our old friend Scott Griffin played bass on most of the songs. We also have some other special guests too.
And do you guys have a release date in mind, or are you still in the working process?
We've added a couple songs that we're working on now, so hopefully it'll be out, around just after the first of the year. I'm hoping.
Okay.
Maybe sooner. We'll see.
Well, with you guys all kind of living in different areas, how do you rehearse, or do you just go for it when shows come up?
We kind of have to just go for it, actually. It's which is cool with me because rehearsal is probably one of my least favorite aspects of being a musician. Although I know it's necessary, and I know it's part of the hard work that we have to put into to put on what we do, the shows that we do. But I think it doesn't bother me. I think we're good enough we can pull it off.
Right. Well, as far as vocals go, I mean, is there an artist that you like covering the most that you think your voice lends well to?
I think the stuff that's not as hot, not too high up there. Like the Stones. I think I just grew up. I started covering Stone stuff in my band when I was 11, 12 years old. Stones and Lynyrd Skynyrd and things like bands like that. When you get into like the Zeppelin and the GNR stuff, that's really hard for me to sing. But I give it my best shot. But yeah, I'd say probably Mick Jagger the most, really.
Well, looking at your solo album, Rock and Roll Ain't Easy, I know you've said in interviews that this is something you're working on for quite a while. Was any of the writing done for this recently around the time that you did it, or were these all songs that you had for that whole time period?
There's some of the, I guess the majority of the songs were songs that I'd had sort of been sitting on for quite a while. There was a couple that we worked up, at the last minute. The title song, Rock and Roll Ain't Easy, I pretty much came up with that just before we started recording, or actually during the recording process. And also Mystery in Exile, we worked that up sort of when we worked up that song, This Don't Look Like Vegas, which Ricky Warwick and Del James had brought in So when we worked up that, we worked up Mystery in Exile, and I came up with Rockin' Rollin' Easy around that time. But the rest of the stuff was pretty much had been around for a while.
Well, speaking of Ricky, we've had him on this podcast before, and I think that guy's like an insanely underrated songwriter.
One of the most underrated songwriters and performers.
Right. Well, how did that come about? Like, were you friends with him, or was it someone that like Del introduced to you?
Del introduced me to Ricky years ago.
Okay.
Back in like the early '90s during the Use Your Illusion, when he was with the Almighty, and so we kind of hit it off back then. And we stayed in touch, mostly through Del and stuff, but over the years. And then, so, Del brought up the idea, and he said that him and Ricky had this song because they write together. And it was perfect for what I was doing. And I think it was just, they kind of brought it in with me in mind, which is great. I just actually played on Ricky's new solo record not too long ago. I guess, well, it seems like it wasn't too long ago, but it's earlier this year. And it was great stuff.
Well, you mentioned Mystery in Exile, and I think that song has a real Michael Monroe vibe to it. Is that something that I'm just kind of pulling out of the dark, or are you a fan of him as well?
I'm a huge fan of Hanoi Rocks for sure. Their early stuff. That was a big influence on me when I was older. When I moved out to LA, it was I sort of I remember hearing like Hanoi Rocks and at Wasp for some reason. I was like, this is I got to get out there. That's I was in Denver at the time, and the music scene was not happening there. So that kind of inspired me to get out to LA. And so, it was definitely a big influence on me, I think. It's funny that particular song, though, it was kind of that song's kind of it started off as kind of an ode to Joe Jackson. It was like one of my favorite artists. Those first couple records that he did, that power punk, like new wave stuff was, I wanted to do something like that. But I guess I could see where you're coming from with the Mike Monroe thing. He's an amazing talent. Yeah, for sure.
Well, you guys also released the Forgotten Cases video recently. Like, whose idea was that concept? I really dug the animation and everything.
Well, the record label had kept suggesting that we do an animated video, and they had these people that they worked with, and I saw some of their work. They did something with the Dead Daisies, I think, a band that I used to play with.
Right.
And so I finally agreed to do it, but only if it was for that song and if they used my story. And so I presented it to them, and they loved it. And so it was all kind of based on a true story, actually.
Okay. So I guess, a lot of people don't do that, where you kind of mixed your solo song with Hookers and Blow. People kind of keep their stuff separate. So I thought that idea was kind of cool as well.
And initially, and for the most part, I do try to keep those things sort of separate, those two things. But at some point, it sort of made sense to just start doing stuff off my solo record with Hookers and Blow, because I was, playing with touring and doing shows with Hookers and Blow with just a lot more than I was doing anything by myself. And, some of the guys played on my record, so it just kind of made sense to sort of blur the lines, I guess. And then, when we did the video, the story is based on some, experiences that we had with Hookers and Blow. So that made sense too. It's kind of I can't make comparisons, but I've definitely blurred the line a little bit.
Okay. So you do perform the solo songs with Hookers and Blow live?
Yes, we do. We definitely make that part of our set. And
Well, so now that you've got this Hookers and Blow album coming, you've had a solo album here last year, can we expect more output from you coming up soon?
I'm currently working on another solo record, and it's crawling along, but it's definitely seems to be moving faster than my first record. So right. Hopefully that should be done. We're going to track some more stuff, probably in a few weeks. And then hopefully I'll have it like slammed out by February, before things pick up with GNR again.
Okay, so it's going to be the same kind of thing where you have a lot of guest artists on it.
I think this is going to be a little bit more self-contained.
Okay.
I definitely I don't really have a band in particular that came to come in and sort of work things out. It's I'm definitely pulling from different sort of groups. of people that I play with. But there's a lot of guys that were on the first record and some guys that weren't. And, it's again, like, some of the guys from Hookers and Blow will be on some of the songs and some other people. And, but for the most part, it's a little more self-contained. And I'm doing the recording with my good friend, Jason Mazilis, who mixed the first record. And we're recording this one. And, so far what we have is turning out pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it so far.
So are they all songs that you've written since Rock and Roll Ain't Easy, or are these still songs that have been around as well?
I guess some of them have been around. I mean, for a while, but probably not since. I don't know, to be honest. Some of them have been sitting in my computer in cyberspace for a long time, and I finally got a chance to work them up. That's basically it. And then other ones I've sort of written with another, with another record in mind, basically.
Well, both these albums, or your solo album and the Hookers and Blow album, have come out and will come out through Golden Robot. Like, how has that relationship been working with them? It's so far with me, it's been great. They've did what I asked them to do, and you can't really ask for more than that. And they've been pretty cool. And with my first record, again, it was like there were so many barriers that I came across. Once I finally got it finished, which took forever, then it was just trying to get a deal, and a lot of people just didn't see it, weren't interested. And they were the first sort of label to really be interested in signing me, and they came up with good ideas, and so I took them up on it. There's an option for another record, and so that's what I'm doing. We're glad that's not going to take another 10 or 15 years.
knock on wood. But there's 3 songs are already done. Okay, so that's good. Yeah. So at very least, I have a single that I can put out. So
yeah. Well, back in October, GNR brought out both Locomotive and Dead Horse, and I'm sure you've probably done those throughout the years with Hookers and Blow, but what was that like to perform those live again with GNR for the first time in 26, 27 years?
Actually, Hookers and Blow have never taken on those songs.
Oh, okay.
It was great to it's always great to do some fresh new material. It's good. It's good for us. It's really good for the fans, especially. And I think, they did appreciate it for sure. And I hope that we delve into some more of that stuff. There's so many great songs on the Use Your Illusion records that, people have forgotten, that I've forgotten about, really. That would be great to do live, and no one works harder than those guys. And it's so great to be a part of it. And so the more we can do like that, the better. It's going to be awesome.
Is there any specific songs you would love to pull out or love for GNR to pull out?
I guess, I don't know, maybe, Bad Apples would be cool. I like that song. That's just one. Get in the Ring. We'd probably never do that though, but that would be fun. I'm sure there's quite a few,
I was at the GNR show that was at Exit 111 in Tennessee, and I don't remember exactly what the degrees was, but I know every night was pretty cold. And it
was chill.
Yeah, someone obviously that's using your hands, like, do you dread shows like that, or when you're up there, is it something you don't notice?
You try not to notice it. Sometimes it's, you can't help it. I think, if everything's going good, it's you don't notice it really. But I've definitely played colder shows, it's not comfortable, but it's not comfortable for anybody. Basically, you just try to make everyone forget about it and just have a good time. That's the best you can do, really.
Well, you're coming up now on 30 years in GNR. I know this is kind of a broad question, but how would you describe that 30-year experience to someone if they just ask?
How the fuck has it been 30 years? Where did the time go?
Right.
I've been just so lucky and fortunate that I was ever asked to do this gig in the first place. And the fact that, I'm still doing it. It's like, as long as they'll have me, I'm going to do it. And it's been a great run. There's been some long sort of, breaks. But those were being put to good use, writing and whatnot. And there's, it's just been a blast, and it's really these last 3 years have been fantastic. The turnouts have been amazing, and just to be a part of that, it's pretty special, and I'm so fortunate again, and I thank my lucky stars every day, man, really do.
Changing the subject a little bit to other artists, we're nearing the end of the year. Is there any music that's come out this year that you're really enjoying, or favorite albums of the year?
To be honest, and I know this sounds terrible, but I don't really listen to a lot of new music anymore when I'm with my kids, and they're all grown-ups now. They're all adults. But that's kind of when I listen to new music. I say, what are you listening to now? And then they'll play me some stuff, But I just, I've been constantly on my own shit and just trying to get that done. And, I'm always into exploring. Nadia, my wife, she's really into Bauhaus, and I went and saw them perform. I know they're not new, right, but I saw them perform, and I never was a fan. I never really got into them. She's been, playing them for me and stuff over the years, and it's piqued my interest. But I went to see them perform at the Palladium a couple weeks ago, and I was blown away. So dynamic, so amazing. What a great band. And I kind of felt like, God, I missed the boat, man. These guys were for so long. But I got to see them perform, and that was really cool. It was inspiring, really, it really was.
Very cool. Watched your that Wikipedia Fact or Fiction video you did. You're wearing a University of Oklahoma shirt, and I'm in Oklahoma right now, and that's where I went to school. So I was just wondering if you're a fan, or if that's just a shirt you had, or...
It was probably the shirt that said Oklahoma Dad, maybe. One of my daughters graduated from University of Oklahoma about 3 years ago. She's studying to be a veterinarian, and she went there. She got her biology degree there, and I was very proud to see her graduate. She became a Sooners fan in the process, which is kind of tough because I grew up in Boulder, Colorado, and that's where the University of Colorado is.
Right.
So we used to get stomped on an annual basis by the University of Oklahoma. Probably still would if we were in the same conference, but we're not. But so yeah, that was tough. But I'm very proud of her. So that's my Oklahoma connection right there.
Cool. Well, at least it was after Colorado was out of the Big 12, so you didn't have to have any deep-seated hatred there, I guess.
Right now we get pummeled by USC and Oregon.
Right. Cool,
Yeah.
man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
My pleasure, man. Thank you for having me.
There you go, Dizzy Reed from Guns N' Roses and Hookers and Blow. A huge thank you to Nadia Drayton from Golden Robot. And of course, a massive thank you, Dizzy Reed, for taking some time out there to talk to me. And really looking forward to hearing these Hookers and Blows songs they're doing covers of. They've already announced that Eddie Money Shakin' is one of the covers.
Right on.
And there's actually a clip of that you can hear. They haven't released the song yet, but there's a clip on the Appetite for Distortion podcast whenever him and Alex from Hookers and Blow were both on there together. They played it like a minute-long clip. So if you want to hear that now, go check that out.
Nice.
Brando's got some great interviews, and that's just one of them. So, but yeah, like we said up front, Guns N' Roses has been my favorite band since I was like 13. Probably about the time that he joined the band, because he's around 90.
Yeah.
And here we are, episode 240. It took us to get a member from one of our two all-time favorite bands here, mine or yours.
Yeah.
So it looks like, who's next?
I don't know. I'm sure we'll have Lars on next week.
I was trying to think of like who from Metallica that I could joke about, but I already did the Ron McGivney joke, and you were like, no, he won't do it.
Yeah, I know.
Because he only does them in person. So
I don't know. Maybe one day Jason Newsted, but I don't know. He doesn't really do interviews, so maybe not. Never mind. I don't know.
That would be. I would love to do that. Honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, we can probably get Rob on here and talk about some infectious grooves.
Right? The plague that makes your booty move.
So I saw they did the show recently.
They're going to be in Hellfest.
Yeah, and I was about to tell you, I just saw that today. So, I mean, I guess that's a thing that's happening now?
I guess so, dude. Sarsipius has came out of retirement.
Hell yeah. That is too cool. So, basically, What am I trying to say here? Where was I going? I don't know what I was going to say.
Probably you were about to say, if you liked this interview, we've got a lot more interviews to go back and listen to.
That's true. Such as 239 previous episodes.
Exactly.
Featuring guys from... We've had on Kevin Martin from Candlebox. We've had on Gene Simmons from Kiss, Bruce Kulick, formerly of Kiss.
That's right.
We've had on Dave Elfson of Megadeth, Chris Broderick, formerly of Megadeth.
In Flames now.
That's right. But he's just like, isn't he just a touring member?
I think so.
He's just doing this tour.
He's been doing it for quite a while.
Which is like, I didn't even really think about that until someone pointed it out on my Facebook. That saw them recently and just said, can't remember who it was now. Just said it's really weird to see Chris Broderick on stage just playing rhythm parts.
Yeah, I know. But you gotta wonder what the fuck is going on there.
He's making some money.
That's right.
You know, guys from a lot of if you like the 80s hard rock stylings, we've had on guys from Tesla, Dokken, Warrant, Firehouse, Trickster, Junkyard, Kicks, LA Guns, Lillian Axe, Def Leppard.
But we've also had on like heavier, guys from heavier bands. Seven Dust, Crowbar, Corrosion of Conformity, Life of Agony, Typo Negative. The list goes on. You just got to go through there and dig.
Right. So now we've had on a member from two of my three favorite all-time bands. We've had on Frank Hannon and Dizzy Reed.
That's right.
So in the next few weeks, I believe we'll have Roddy Bottom on this podcast. I just threw that out there.
Just putting that out there, just hoping the energy.
Yeah. I know that Mike Patton's not going to be on this podcast, more than likely.
Yeah.
But so I'm just throwing that out there. Roddy Bottom will do this podcast, and I complete the trifecta.
There you go.
And we get a little bit right outside that trifecta. Kenny Hickey was on here recently from Typo Negative, who is another one of my favorite bands.
Yes.
And in that vein, we had on Alan Robert from Life of Agony.
That was great.
That was recently as well. Last year we had on Tommy Victor from Prong. Had on guys from Sons of Texas and all kinds of great stuff. So all you got to do is dig through there and look it up. SoundCloud.com/Thunder-Underground. We're on iTunes. Well, I guess now that is called Apple Podcasts or something. I saw that the other day, and I've been saying iTunes forever. But whatever, if you listen to that, you know what it's called.
Oh, yeah.
We're on Google Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Mixcloud, all that stuff. So just Google us, you'll find us. We're also TheThunderUnderground.com. You can listen to everything there. Find all our socials there as well. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. We are at The Thunder Underground. Subscribe there. We've got videos where we interview. No, not interview. Well, some of those are up there, podcasts. But we've got videos where we review songs, albums, cheese, concerts.
Jesus Christ.
That's real. We interviewed. I keep saying interview. We did not interview any cheese. We reviewed cheese. And hey, now that I've said that out loud, it kind of relates here because it was the Guns N' Roses cheese.
Guns N' Roses cheese.
There is a Guns N' Roses and a Def Leppard cheese, which we've had on Dizzy Reed and Vivian Campbell to represent these cheeses.
Right.
That Aldi put out this past year. I went and bought them. We sat down and did a taste test and recorded it. So get on our YouTube channel and watch that thing. It has like 48 puns related to Guns N' Roses and Def Leppard. Which I didn't even put a pun at the top of this episode on purpose because I know you don't like it. So. Anyway.
Jesus Christ. I think we're done.
All right. So coming soon, we will have an episode with Scott and Gary from Outlaw Devils. And we will have an episode with fucking Vanilla Ice.
I'm not saying anything.
I'm not joking. This has been recorded, and you will hear it in the next week or two. So basically, 1991 just blew up all over our face. Vanilla Ice and Guns N' Roses. All right. I'll just leave it at that. Until next time.
Thunder Underground, y'all.